how about we start with what's your spouse's favorite movie?
I think it's Coming to America.
Oh, wow. I
Right
did
on.
not see that coming.
It's not.
Oh.
What is it?
It's the right actor gets the golden child.
I knew it. That was gonna be my second choice because you always quote it.
Welcome to the Catching Up After College podcast. We're catching up after college on the lessons of life lived by leaders. We're a safe space grounded in grace, and our aim's always to aid. We may be post-graduation, but we're never post-education. I'm Isaiah Brown, your host, and thank you for tuning in today. And we have the awesome, the amazing power couple like no other, Ken and CeeCee Weaver, here with us today. How's it going, y'all?
Good.
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just chilling, you know. Yeah, it's been going pretty good. What y'all been up to today?
Man, running around with this little lady over here.
Yeah. We're in the process of moving, so that's you see boxes in the background. That's what we're doing. Yep.
Dang. And you got a party tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a socially distanced.
Oh, yeah.
Circles in Mission Dolores Park. We're following the rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stay in your circle.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, this is actually our second couple interview, so we're making history still. So we have a couple questions, if that's cool with y'all, just to get to know y'all better.
Sounds good.
All right. So you're gonna say an answer for your spouse, like if I ask you like what's their favorite thing or whatever, you gotta give the answer. But how about we start with what's your spouse's favorite movie and why?
I don't know why, but I know it's Back to the Future.
Oh, number 3.
I don't know if I ever.
Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna say the one where I can't see. You can tell it's not my favorite movie. The one when he tries to go across the water on the hoverboard, because I've heard it quoted many times.
The first one.
That's number 2.
Yeah. Well, it's number. I mean, that scene was in like both of them. So.
Oh.
Well, the actual one when he goes back to that one.
Yeah, Back to the Future is correct.
Ding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna get it right. I think.
Oh man.
Because you have so many. I think it's Coming to America.
Oh wow! I did not see that coming.
It's not. Dang.
Oh.
What is it?
It's the right actor. It's the golden child.
I knew it. That was gonna be my second choice because you always quote it.
Dang. So, have you seen the Saturday Night Live, the recent one with Eddie Murphy, Ken?
The one when he came back?
Yeah, where he hosted. Yeah. Okay, I was going to say you should check that out.
Skits with like buckwheat and Gumby and all that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Nice. Okay, here's our next couple questions. So, if your spouse could only eat at one restaurant for the rest of their life, where would it be? And what would be the main thing they're ordering?
I think I got yours.
Oh, man. I'm gonna fail this one. I don't know the restaurant, but I know it involves nachos.
Amen.
Yeah, that's right. I could eat nachos like every day of the week.
Dang.
Every meal. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a specific restaurant, but for you, I think it's Hall of Flame with a double cheeseburger with bacon.
What's the name?
I forgot it. The name of the burger. Oh, the alley-oop. Alley-oop. It's called an alley-oop, and it's literally a double bacon cheeseburger, and then he'll get chili cheese fries on the side.
It's a solid burger.
Yeah.
It's a solid burger. Never let me down.
Dang.
By
Cool.
SF State, if for anybody who lives in San Francisco.
Oh, it's all good. Chili and cheese seems to go on both of those meals.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah, nice. All right. So you guys could go in any order. Pretty much whoever wants to answer first, they can. But can you describe where you're from and what your life was like before college?
And where I'm from. So I'm originally from the South. So I grew up in Mississippi, Arkansas. Before college, life was interesting. Grew up in like a one-parent home, so life was a little bit of a struggle, but it was still filled with a lot of family and love, so it was still great. Man, it's just a kind of interesting question to ask for. It's like, what was life before college? But I think that's the only thing I can kind of think of off the top of my head, or it's like how life was before college. I'd say there's a lot about myself that I didn't know. A lot about my personality, things that like I figured out about myself afterwards. I wish I would have known then. Would have made life a lot easier. But that's pretty much it, I think.
So I'm from Vallejo, California, 707. And I, life before college, what was my life like before college? I was pretty much, high school, I would say, just like right before, I was kind of like best all around. I got good grades in high school. I had a part-time job at the local movie theater, just living at home, nothing extreme, just kind of a normal, basic life. And just same thing, just trying to figure it out, no real big moves until kind of college, but just trying to make it through those teenage years.
Yeah. Okay. Growing up, what did you guys want to be when you're little?
Man, when I was little, I wanted to be an animator for Disney. That's what I wanted to be when I was little. Either that, that was like the main thing, I'd say.
When I was little, so I grew up I'm Filipino, and in the Filipino culture, the expectation for career is to be a nurse, especially if you're a woman. And so it's not necessarily what I wanted to be, but kind of what it was just automatic in my brain that, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be a nurse, like my mom and like my grandmother. And, so just continue that tradition. I think it wasn't until maybe middle school where I started to kind of think outside the box, and I wanted to get in computers. I remember saying to my parents, like, I want to, and that was like when, like, not to age myself, but when computers started to get popular, I was like, oh, I really like this like computer stuff, and I really wanted to get into it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And so I guess growing up, did you guys picture yourself going to college then?
I didn't really think there was any other option. My both my grandparents were fortunate enough to go to college. On my mom's side, were fortunate enough to go to college. It's like really popular college in Mississippi, Tougaloo College, where most African Americans went way back in the day, and so the importance of going to college was always there. And so I never really thought of myself not going to college.
Yeah, same. It was always instilled in me that college there's not an option to not go to college. Like, you have to go to college. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter community college, state college, university, didn't matter what state. Like, just go to college and get a degree. That was like an expectation, the same as going to high school.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, with recent events and everything, we've been trying to talk more about diversity on the show whenever it comes up. I think it should always come up, you know. But at what point did you realize, I guess, race was going to be an issue you face often? If that's something you face on the daily?
I don't, almost like the college. I don't think I can't remember a time where I wasn't conscious of it. Yeah, I can't remember a time. I can even, wow. I saw the, so the hidden question I just like brought back like an old memory of like, people following me and my mom around like Winn-Dixie, which is a very old age myself too. Winn-Dixie grocery stores, and like I remember always having to be like on my best behavior when we're at certain places. I don't really think it was always. I was always I think I was always conscious of it for the most part.
I grew up in a pretty diverse city, so Vallejo is pretty diverse, heavily, African American, Filipino, just everything. And the neighborhood I grew up in was kind of like a suburb of Vallejo, you'd say, right? And so I didn't really have to think about it. I was with a very diverse group of friends. It wasn't an issue, I guess, for me. I didn't have very many encounters or negative encounters about my race growing up. So even, I'm trying to think back, and I was telling Kenneth this before. I was like, I don't think I've ever had a negative experience that affected me long term. So if something did happen, I think it was just out of sight, out of mind. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what has been your guys' experience as a interracial couple in the Bay Area?
It's been like we haven't run into any weirdness. I will say we not in the Bay Area, but I think it was for our first anniversary. We took a cruise, and there was this couple there. I think they were either from Alabama or Mississippi, one of the two. I can't remember. And the guy was like, it was like, oh, what did he say? What did he ask?
I don't remember, but it was like
something about how they don't bother you guys about being a mixed couple.
A mixed couple, yeah.
And for me, I've heard it so many times, it didn't really like affect me, but to see her jaw drop was
I had never heard that question. Number one, I was like, that's such an odd question. And two, the wording of the question, I was like, and I had to like do a double take because like, I don't even know how to answer that question. Never been approached by that. So I guess we're kind of spoiled in that sense of like growing up in being in the Bay Area, being in San Francisco. It just kind of normal for us. We didn't think twice about even getting married or even having a child that would be, biracial, it being ever an issue. So.
Yeah, because it's pretty progressive here in San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Have you ever had to face discrimination of any kind, even in the workplace?
In the workplace, not to my knowledge. I think that in the workplace, especially nowadays, when it's there, it's very under the surface, and so, so I haven't, not to my knowledge. I mean, we can, that's not really that I can think of off the top of my head.
You haven't faced discrimination
in workplace?
Well, in any
like
form.
any form.
Any form.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the South, so it was facing discrimination is just, it's something, it's crazy, especially with now everything's going on. But ever since I was a kid, I had so many. I remember one time we were in seventh grade. We went to Beebe, Arkansas for a choir competition, and we were walking to the nearest gas station to get snacks because the school didn't have any. And a sheriff's car pulled up, and these guys spit at us and threw like soda cups at us full of like soda on our way there. So like, and that's like 7th grade, and I have other like stories growing up. So I've my whole life I've experienced it, which is why now when I talk with friends about things that are going on now, and they tell me that they're like, "Oh, I can't believe this is still happening." I'm like, "I can't believe you didn't know it never stopped."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "People can just film it now." So, but yeah, that's.
For me, nothing as extreme. I remember in grade school, I had, a couple of classmates that were white, and at the time, I didn't see it as anything, but they would call me chink because of my Asian eyes are yellow. And I wasn't taught that was negative, or I guess I didn't realize that was negative at all. And then not until, being an adult where I was like, hey, that was kind of mean. But they weren't calling me those names to be mean. I think I was friends with these people. It was just something that they called me. But I now know that, like, today, those weren't nice names to be called. Mm-hmm. But even when I told my parents, I don't even think they cared either at the time. And that was like back in like the 90s, So they're like, it's okay, they didn't mean it. So it's, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. You're good. Do what you got to do. Yeah. For those who are just listening and can't see anything, got to take care of the baby. So it's all good. All right. To bring it back to college, would you say you had a diverse experience in college in the sense that you're exposed to different cultures, people, and mindsets?
Yeah, I think so. Even though U of A University of Arkansas is in Arkansas, and it's in Fayetteville, Arkansas, of all places. And if you're from there, you know why I'm saying in Fayetteville, Arkansas, of all places. It was a big track. It was really big for track and football and a couple other sports. So it brought in a lot of athletes and a lot of people from other countries and all over the United States. Plus, they had a really great law department. So it brought people, scholars and academics from all over as well. So it was really surprising, other than Little Rock, Arkansas, the most like diverse little town that I've been in for a college town in Arkansas. So pretty diverse. The only thing that wasn't diverse was the cheer squad I was on, because there was only 2 brown people on that team. But the school as a whole was really diverse.
Can you describe the cheer squad to us? Tell us the experience.
Yeah, it was great. It paid for a chunk of my school, but it was it was a good team. We got to travel a lot. There was myself and Shandy, only two black people on the team. So that was interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys watched the Netflix show?
Which
Cheer,
one?
the Cheer one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's called. Is it called Cheer?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
That was just, I would be watching it, and I'd be like, Dave, is that what you had to do? Is that what you had to do? He's like, yep, I went to nationals. He did the whole thing.
Dang, you did? You went to the nationals?
I went to the national, but not in college. And before college, I was on a competition cheer squad, and we went to nationals.
Yeah, like Bring It On status, like that movie when that came out. that's what he was doing.
I was cheering.
But
There are some accuracies, but for the most part, no
yeah.
speakers or anything like that.
The final scene in that movie where they're at the amphitheater, it was actually filmed in my hometown because I was watching it one time. Yeah, I was like, that looks exactly like my downtown amphitheater and the beach. I was like, yep, that's it. I Wikipedia it.
How funny.
Yeah, but
Let's see, what was the question again?
Diverse
in
college.
college. Oh, I went to college in Hawaii, so a lot of us were. I think it's very pretty diverse. But I was also, my major was travel management, and that major, it wasn't that diverse. But the school as a whole was pretty diverse. I mean, who didn't want to go to school in Hawaii? So you had all these, people who just love the beach and surf. So not necessarily like everybody looked the same, but everybody had the same passion, same passion to be there. They were going there for school, but I mean, we were really going there to live in Hawaii. So everybody was from all over the place.
yeah. Can you describe how that was like? Because from the outside looking in, that sounds pretty amazing. Like, how was it for you?
So it was good and bad. So you go to a destination to get away from your everyday life. But when you mix the two together and your everyday life becomes the place that you retreat to now becomes the place that you work at, it's kind of hard to see that place as now your home, your everyday life. So it was fun because I had access to paradise. I had access to the beach and all of that, and just being in the best weather all year round. But having to work or having to go to school all day long and not be able to enjoy it until the weekends was kind of a weird balance. And so I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, it was the best experience. Like, I love living in Hawaii and just experiencing what people only dream of going to, but I got to live there for 5 years. Was an awesome experience. So yeah, destination, going to school out of state was the best. But also another downside was you don't really vacation. You don't really vacation anywhere. Your vacation is used up by going back to see your family because you're already in a vacation state. So it's not like it wasn't like I said, oh, I'm going to Europe or I'm going to Florida. It's like I'm already at the beach. So it's not like I could really vacation or fly anywhere.
Yeah. Did you ever have your family come visit you? Like, that'd be a good compromise. Course. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like, everybody who had wanted to come by, they were always invited. Anybody, they used me as an excuse. Oh, we're there to visit you. Not really. They were there to like stay at my place for free while I was at school and went to work, and then they went to the beach. So, but yeah, they definitely came and visited, which I like. That was a great experience too, having family come down, because now you're all on vacation at some point.
Yeah. Nobody went to Fayetteville, Arkansas.
No one wanted to go to Arkansas?
No.
Hey, they'll visit you in California, I'm sure.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah. Cool. Can you guys recall a season of having to learn new skills or adapt to your environment to survive?
Ooh. To survive?
Or to thrive. We could say that too.
Okay. So, I mean, when I moved out of my place to go to college in Hawaii, just out the gate, that I had to learn, like, my parents supported me a little bit financially, but not to the extent where I could like live on my own. So they really raised me so that I could be independent out the gate. So I remember having the first day I got to Hawaii, my aunt's friend lived there. So she picked me up and she dropped me off, and all my stuff arrived. And so I was by myself in my place had no job. My car was getting shipped. And I remember I was 19 years old, 19 years old. No, maybe I think 20. And I had an air mattress, and I like jumped on the air mattress like in a movie, and I started bawling. And I was like, what did I just do? I literally just like left my house. I live in another state. I'm 19 years old, and I have nobody here. Like, I have no friends. I like no family. And I just bawled for maybe an hour. Like, there was not even electricity in my place yet. So I had to do everything. And then I think after like maybe a good hour, I stopped crying. I picked myself up and I go, okay, well, I got to go get a job. That's like the first thing. So I walked across the street because my car wasn't there yet. I applied for jobs. I did what I had to do, like you just kind of put everything in order of priority, and you just say, okay, I got to do what I got to do. Otherwise, not that I fail, but you're just kind of nothing else you can do. You can't sit there. No one's going to do it for you, so you just got to take everything one by one and do it, and it'll get done. And your capacity will increase just because of that.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember doing that. And I found a job. I turned the electricity on, got my car, and started unpacking. And, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but it was definitely scary that first day.
What was that question again?
What do you need to do? What a season in your life where you had to survive or thrive?
Yeah. Learn new skills to adapt to your environment to survive.
Did I answer the question?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, wait, did I even answer that correctly?
Man, it's one of those questions where kind of going back, like growing up in the South, like you always have to adapt to the environment to survive, because just being as we're all seeing now, like just being Black or even just a person of color in the South can be, every day could be like you can be one choice away from if you survive or not. And so there are several skills that like my parents taught me, my grandfather taught me, that my mom taught me, that you learn to help you navigate the world. But then looking back on some of those skills, yeah, they kept me alive in certain situations that could have gone another direction. But then you realize in some of those situations you're actually denying who you are, parts of who you are. You're denying. You're pretty much communicating to whoever you're around or in a situation with, that you're almost invalidating who you are in some parts, or your right to breathe, or your right to exist. So there's tons. I mean, and I'm sure like you know as well. There's just so many things that you just automatically know because you've either watched your parents or their parents have had a conversation with you, and so it's even to the point where you maybe don't even remember those things that you've learned. You just automatically do it. Like even now, like I'll walk in certain situations, and just because of those lessons, like a part of my personality will change. Just because, depending on where I am, it could, especially being a Black male, like the way you talk, even to the point where just being assertive, or like just being assertive in a way that any person would be, can be taken as aggression. And so I think that was one of the things I learned from my grandfather. If I can pull one thing out specifically, is conducting yourself in public, especially around someone who is white, especially someone who's white, and that's like a person that is a law officer or something like that. So I think that was probably like one of the things that a skill that I had to learn and like was taught really early as a child. And I don't see myself, using it, going a different route, especially until things, start to really get better.
Yeah. A couple episodes ago with a guy named Luther, he's also a black male. I asked him a similar question. So how do you balance being your authentic self with making other people comfortable as well, but also trying to create a balance in the sense that you want them to grow so that you shouldn't have to make them comfortable. You should be able to be authentic, all of who you are all the time. What are your thoughts on that type of question?
I think it is a fine, it can be a fine line depending on the situation. I think you have to take each interaction, each situation, like case by case. You can always gauge how open a person is to their personal growth, just by the way that they're interacting with you. And sometimes it's more about not reacting in the way that an individual thinks you're going to react. Sometimes educating someone is about showing them that you're not who they think you are, or they think you can be. Because I've had people poke at me it felt like they were trying to get a rise out of me and not giving them that. When I would like really honestly just wanted to just like let them have it because they were completely out of line. But sometimes I think that's more powerful than overly like exerting your, like, I don't know, like your point in those situations. But it is a fine line. I don't think you have to not be yourself. I think you can still be who you are. But I do think that you do have to kind of pick your battles and know like which situations you can affect the most change.
Yeah, that's really wise. Yeah, that's a great answer. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but what has been the biggest surprise of adulthood, marriage, or parenthood so far?
Man, the biggest surprise.
Yeah, of one of those, or all three.
I think, well, for all three, I think it's knowing how capable we really are until we're pushed to actually do the things that we didn't think we could do. Like, our capacity always has the potential to increase, even when we don't think we have it in us. And specifically, I mean, in all three of those, it's been like that. I mean, we always have to pinch ourselves and look at each other and say, wow, we've come so far just as individuals, but then also in our marriage and now as parents. And parenthood itself, I mean, we thought that we're at max capacity as adults. Like, oh, we've learned everything, we're older, there's nothing left to learn. Now it's on to teach the new generation. And now coming into parenthood, I was like, wow, I'm being stretched in ways I never thought I'd be stretched. And it's the same when I moved out into Hawaii. You think you can't do it. You think that it's too big for you, or you're not strong enough. And then yet you wake up every day and you do it. And I think, yeah, you just know that when you're stretched in certain ways that there is no limit to what you can do. You just have to continue to do it and just not doubt yourself, and really just say, okay, what do I need to learn and how do I do it, and just do it. Like, I think we just think that we're so limited, and it's certain things are for certain people, oh, I'm not ever going to get married. Marriage is for this person who always wants a partner, you know, oh, I'm never gonna have kids, which I said for years. I'm never gonna have kids. We're never gonna have kids. We're the couple that's just gonna never have kids, dual income, no kids. And all of a sudden, you know, she pops out, and we couldn't imagine not having a child now. You know, we couldn't imagine, like, wow, why would we ever say that? You know, it's like awesome being a parent. So yeah.
I would say being the part as far like being a parent, I think you like we all care about kind of what's going like about to a point. Everyone cares about the world and whether it be environmental or things like social justice and equality, and but you don't realize how much you really care about it until like you have a little one that has to grow up in that world. And at that point, like it makes it more, the stakes are even higher because you can only protect your children for so long. But if you leave your child a world that's safer, that's more, in our case, doesn't not see her color because it's not about that, but sees her as someone that is valued, someone that is like worthy of respect, worthy of every like right or every opportunity that anyone else has in this world. That just makes you, being a parent makes you think about that a lot more, like a lot more. Like I've always, for us, like knowing, like even to the point where you want to know like where you're from, so that you can tell your kid, like your child, where she's from, like that. And so that's probably like the biggest thing. You don't realize how much you really care about the world and people in it until you have to leave. You could possibly be leaving your child in this world, because you're going to, you know, be there to protect them for so long. I think that, yeah, for me, that's probably like the biggest, like the most biggest things.
Yeah, let's actually leave it on a Naya note. Oh, that's good. So usually the last question I ask is, if there's one thing you could tell your high school self, what would it be? But let's imagine 14 years from now, Naya's watching this on YouTube. Hey, those are my parents. What's one thing you would tell high school Naya, let's say 14-year-old joining 9th grade?
Stay away from boys, they're gross. I don't know. I don't know who she's gonna be then. I don't know. I know there are gonna be times where, I don't know. That's tough. I'll let you hit that one first, and then circle back.
That your identity is first in God before the world tells you who you are. Before even we as parents tell you who you are. You are a daughter of God, and that is more special than any degree, title, financial status that anyone can ever receive. Because it gets confusing over time of your identity, I think. And because of that confusing time, we lose, or we get distracted and we lose direction and can fall into different mindsets. And if we stick with that one mindset, or if she would just stick with that one mindset, she would be safe, you know, because even I feel like our generation, like parents have the habit of telling our children or telling kids who they are before they even get to figure out who they are, you know, or telling them who they are outside of being a child of God. And I feel like that is one of the core values that we're always going to instill, is saying, before anything else, we're not going to tell you where to work. We're not going to tell you where to go to school. We're not going to tell you any of that. But you are a child of God. And always making sure that that is the one thing she hears from us above everything else.
Man, that was good. So stick with, stay away from boys, they're gross. Man, I have no idea. I think I would show. I know. See, this is how it's gonna be. She's gonna be talking back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I would tell her that she's brought so much joy, and that even I don't know. She's brought so much joy. She's like the happiest baby. I'm just saying this because she's my child, but she's the silliest, most joyful baby, and I would show her this video and other videos where she's just having a ball, and just remind her the joy that she carries. I don't know. I think hers is so good. I'm really just gonna. I think I'm sticking to my guns.
Okay,
I'm gonna.
with that.
Boys are gross. They don't just study. That'll come later.
Stay single.
Yeah, just stay single and study. You can deal with guys later when you're older. And I no longer have. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Awesome. Keep your identity in God and stay single. So be a nun or
the answer to all of my problems.
Yeah, it's all good. Cool. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on, and I just really wanted to encourage you today that I feel like as you just continue to stick together through life, you're just going to continue to grow in God, and that as you continue to put him first, he's just going to take care of everything else. So knowing that, just keep seeking him, and everything else is going to be taken care of. So
right.
But I feel like that's really on your guys' lives. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anything you want to promote? Website, social media, or anything? You still have the photography website you want to promote?
I'm doing photography, Connie Kristen Photography, on Instagram and website. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, once again, thank you. And yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
and sorry, she wanted to get interviewed too, so she had some questions to answer.
Oh, it's all good.
Thanks.
No worries. But cool. Take care, and great catching up. And for everyone else, until next time, as we're maturing, we're going to keep learning, stirring up, and chasing after what our Creator created us to do. And have a good one, everyone. Peace.